Hello and welcome to Newsbar. In this video, we are going to talk about US sanctions and in general Western sanctions on Russia and why it matters to India. Now, first of all, let's look at the scope of these sanctions. None of these sanctions apply to the banks as well as to the oil companies which deal with gas and oil companies which deal with Russia sending oil to the Europe, because that is critical for the Europe and European population. So that is not sanctioned yet. On the other hand, when questions get asked to the US administration about India buying just 3 million barrels of oil, which is less than what India needs per day, then the response is that it is something that is India is not shaky, but it might not get in between the sanctions on it. India might not get affected with the sanctions that is indirectly would be applied to anyone dealing with Russia. On the other hand, all the European countries are doing their business with oil and natural gas with Russia. India has just bought 3 million barrels of oil. Having said that, the sanctions go much beyond that. They are official sanctions, and then there is, you may call it coercion, you may call it nationalism or anything, but all the Western companies have sanctioned Russia. There is also, even the Russian President Vladimir Putin talked about cultural sanctions on Russia. He basically used the term cancel culture, but what he meant was that Russian culture is being cancelled. There was talk about Dostoevsky getting cancelled in the Western universities. Now, Dostoevsky is basically someone who wrote about non-aggression and who basically wrote about non-violence. He basically was against, at that time, the Tsarist empire. And now, ironically, the Western world is going to cancel Dostoevsky himself. It goes much beyond that. McDonald's have cancelled, Netflix have cancelled, they have all basically left Russia. Now, the impact of these sanctions on India basically is not just what is happening in Russia and the direct impact of that, but it goes much beyond that. This shows that US led Western bloc and their sanctions apply whenever they want, whenever they can, whenever any country goes against their policies. Again, I'm not trying to defend Russia, but look at it from this point of view that US attacked Iraq, US bombed Serbia in 1999. In both these instances, there was no UN authorization. UN did not authorize these attacks, but US attacked, saying that there is humanitarian catastrophe going on, there is human right violation going on, there might be weapons of mass destructions in Iraq. All these things were said, and basically, right, all of that was false. None of that was true, basically. But and all of these things are being said by Vladimir Putin right now against the Ukraine. We all know, basically, we all guess and we all know somehow that none of that is probably true, mostly, but it is the same rationale that was given by the United States back in 2003 and back in 1999 to bomb Serbia. Now, the US and the Western bloc is basically saying that we can do whatever we want whenever we want, but if you do the same thing, then we will not let you enjoy whatever you are enjoying. US dollar is the world's currency because everybody believes that it's the most stable currency, and there is unwritten assurance that US dollar is for everybody's good. There is an assurance that no matter what, US dollar is there, but if US sanctions everyone and bars them from making any transactions in US dollar, then eventually, of course not right now, not in any near future, but eventually it will harm the US dollar and their credibility. Having said that, it also sends a message that you can get all the benefits of the Western world, and you can get all the benefits of free market capitalism if you are good. If you are good. If you're not good, if you are like Russia, then we can wrap you anytime we want. We will pull back the whole golden arches theory of basically the M of McDonald's. We will pull all of that back from your country, and we will sanction you so much that you will be cut off and you will be just like North Korea. Now, of course, there is China, which is second biggest economy in the world, and no Western country has guts to do that to China, even though China is basically doing worse than that to their own population, to the Uyghur Muslims and obviously the Tibetans for decades. But no Western country is going to do that because they make money out of China. But if you're not China, if you're not as big an economy as China, if you're like Russia or maybe a bit bigger than that, then you have to be good. You have to be a good boy, and then only you can enjoy the Western civilization's benefit. You can enjoy free market capitalism's benefit. Otherwise, tata bye bye, and you are basically a North Korea. That is the message that US led Western bloc is sending, and we have to be very careful about it because that is something that they are using against Russia today. They might use that against any other country tomorrow. It might even be India in the future when we become much too powerful for them in future, say 1 or 2 decades after that. So we have to be very careful while choosing our potential ally. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon so that you can get more and more notifications of our videos. Thank you very much.